Welcome to the Liam Senior Show. I know, right? Not another podcast. But here we are. Join this beer brewing, filmmaking, YouTubing northerner as he catches up with friends, interviews interesting people, and shares opinions no one asked for. So humor Liam in this self-indulgent journey into podcasting. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and enjoy the ride. Hold on to your butts.
Stu Coupland, welcome to Liam Senior Show.
Thank you very much. Glad to be here.
Thank you. Yeah, good to have you on. We've been talking about getting you on the show for a good while, so I'm glad to be able to get into your busy diary. You are a busy man.
It's a bit hectic at the minute, especially when we're up to Christmas.
I bet, yeah. So for some context for those who don't know who you are, Stu Coupland, the leather guy, do you want to elaborate a bit more on that?
Yeah, as you say, Stu Coupland, the leather guy. I own Coupland Leather, so Coupland Leather is a handcrafted bespoke leather service in a way. We're a business, but what we tend to do is take plain undyed sheets of leather, dye them to specifically what the customers ask for, cut them up, make something out of it, and then send it across. So that could be a wallet, a belt, a folder, whatever it might be. Sort of making that bespoke side of the leather world. The leather world.
So the leather world is a complicated beast. How did you get into it? How did you start doing all this?
YouTube.
Big fan.
Oh yeah.
Wrapping the pillows.
No, basically, I've always been that person who, if someone comes across my path and someone goes, "Do you want to give this a go?" You know, as long as I can, I will. Yeah. You know, which is why I've done some proper random and weird things in my past. But effectively, me and the missus, we were on holiday in Turkey. There was a little watch stall in the hotel, and the guy was selling handmade watch straps. So I said, "So could you get one on my watch?" And he went, "No, your watch is a little bit too thin." So he'd made now I know what it is. He'd made a 24mm watch strap. Yeah. I had a 22mm watch, so it's too big. Right. But he said, "If you leave your watch with me, I'll cut down the strap. I'll jazz it up a bit and make it yours." So that's what I did. He basically took the watch. He cut the angles down. So he cut the ends off in by 2mm each side. Fitted it to my watch. Changed the buckle for me, and I was like, "Oh, this is brilliant service." Yeah, amazing. Now I know about it. He'd done very little, but in the moment when you're there and you're like, "Oh, it's not going to fit," I'm quite disappointed. Blah blah blah. And then you go, "Actually, he can do it, and he can fix it, and it's for me." And he swapped the buckle, and I was like, "That's a really nice service."
Bespoke job, bespoke service.
It wasn't. I didn't choose the colours or anything like that. It just all he done was angled off the corners. But to me, as the buyer, I was like, "That's a really nice thing to do." Yeah. So I was sat by the pool with this nice new watch strap on, and I said to the missus, "I could make one of these, Yeah. And as the dish would roll her eyes, but she's very supportive. She said, "If you want to do it, go for it." So I went on YouTube, and I researched and I Googled and I watched the blogs and all that sort of stuff, and I just went around all over the internet going, "How do I make a leather wallet? How do I make a leather watch strap? How do I make a leather belt?" Right. And I watched hundreds of videos, hours and hours and hours of content. But what I was doing while I was watching this, I was making lists. I was going, "He's used a funny shaped knife, look into what that is. He's used a funny shaped hammer, look into what that is." Yeah. And then I compiled all these lists, and effectively came up with one what I'd class as a kit list. Yeah. Amazon, best place to start with anything you want to do. Bought a load of tools, eBay, bought a load of tools, all the cheap Chinese stuff came through. Yeah. To be fair, I probably use half of it still. Wow. The other half I've never even touched.
Trial and error though. You got to pick up a few bits and find out what works. And that's very much where it was at. The first wallet I made, I should have brought it for you. The first wallet I made, when you folded it in half and closed it, basically, when you closed it, it was smaller than a bank card. Wow. I'll have to bring him in somehow. Yeah. It was horrendous. The second one I made fit a bank card. Yeah. Progress.
But it was about as floppy as a tissue. You just held it and it just kind of flopped over, and I was like, well, that's not good. No. So in a lot of frustration after spending quite a decent bit of money on kit, I gave up. Right. And at the time I was a retained fireman. So I was working Monday to Friday, 9 to 5 in an IT company, and then from 6 o'clock at night till 6 o'clock in the morning, I was a firefighter.
Right.
So I was running sort of both jobs side by side. And I basically applied for a new job. I got it as the UK sales manager for a marketing company.
Right.
And I'd done the fire service for 2.5, 3 years, something like that. And it took over your life. Being a retained fireman, like you say, 6 till 6 after work before that, you don't get a personal life. You are doing that. And I'd met Megan, who's my other half, I think 2 months after starting with the fire service.
Right.
So for our entire relationship at this point, it had been curfewed in a way.
Yeah.
You know, you
fancy doing this? Do you want to do this? No, I can't. I've got to be in. I've got to be available.
Or we'd go and see our parents at the weekend, and they'd be like, "Oh yeah, it's all nice. Let's watch a movie." I need to be home for 8 because I'm on shift at 9. I get showered and sorted and all the rest of it. So you know, it took over your life. So when I got this new job as this sales manager, I kind of went, well, I've done my time in this fire service. I love it. I've enjoyed it. It's been fantastic. But I think it's time for me to move on and up my career. So I left the fire service, but at the same time, I went, I've got all this free time. Yeah. Like every night, every weekend's free.
You're just used to it now,
you know. And that was it. Yeah, I've got this sort of hat on where it's work. You can't switch off. And now all of a sudden, I've got all this free time myself. I didn't know what to do. It was like I got into retirement. I just didn't know what to do myself. Yeah. So I ended up trying with this leather thing again. Right. I bought one of those cheap, boxes from the range, little see-through boxes. I shot everything in that. Yeah. And I pulled it out.
So you'd had the idea for doing leather stuff, and then you given it a go, made a couple of things, weren't quite what you expected. Yeah. Got back into what you're normally doing. Life changed, stepped away from the fire service, and then I had all this gear and thought all this time.
Holiday was in the June. Trying it out was in the July. The new job was in the November. Yeah. And I restarted the leather thing at the end of November. Wow. So it was only over a couple of months I gave up for. But we hit Christmas. Yeah. So I made the world's worst bookmark and gifted that. And a few other bits and bobs. Yeah. And then January came around. We have a few family birthdays in January. So I gifted those out. Yeah. February. Was it February? I think it was. Yeah, February. Someone I know from the networking. Because working in the marketing company, even for a short space of time, they started talking about borrowed credibility and all this, and having an online presence through social media. Yeah. And in my head, I was like, how mint would it be to have a leather company? Yeah. So what I'd done was I opened a Facebook and Instagram account for Coupland Leather. Right.
Well, for a good starting place, because then you're like, it's something now. It's got a place somewhere on in the world.
Exactly. And I was just sticking... I said bad photo, it wasn't necessarily bad photo, I was just sticking rubbish up on there, right? And the whole idea wasn't to get sales, it was to have content on a page. Yeah. So if somebody in 6 months Googled me, they go, he hasn't been going for 2 weeks, he's been going for 6 months.
Yeah, you can see.
It was just that credibility to have something online. Exactly, just something online. And in the February, someone I know from networking got in touch and said, could you make me an Apple Watch strap? And I went, go on then. I think I sold it for about 35 quid, this Apple Watch strap, and I think it cost me about 45 quid to buy the materials. It was bad.
But it was a revised starting place, wasn't it?
The thing was in my head was, all right, I hadn't made my money back. Yeah. That's just an adjustment. The point is, somebody has given me real hard cash for something I've made. Yeah. And it was that light switch moment going, hang on a minute, this is doable. Yeah. So, I didn't sell anything else in the February. We made £35 first month again. Yeah. But it just started growing,
Start to get more inquiries. Someone might see something you've made, ask a question.
That was it. I was trying. Obviously, you go, what do you make out of leather? Oh, a gun holster. So I got a BB gun. I made a gun holster. Yeah. What do you make out of leather? All knife sheath. So I got a little rubbish knife thing, and I made a knife sheath. Yeah. And a wallet. Right. Okay, let's try something new. And all I was doing was making really bad projects, taking pictures of them and sticking them out on social media, and people go, could you do this? Yeah. And the first couple of projects I made, they were in white plain leather. Going back to the original floppy stuff, that was in like this Italian scraps cut off stuff I bought from eBay. Learned about veg tan, which is stuff we use now. Tried it in the white plain undyed stuff. Made a few projects. It was a wallet, a knife sheath, and a gun holster. And then I learned, let's dye it, let's just try and dye it. There's leather dye there, so I dyed the stuff. And all over these projects, they went like black splodges.
Right.
And what it was is when I've glued it and I've had a bit of glue that's fallen on the leather, I just wiped it off. And it's obviously dried and hardened, and then when you've glued it, it's gone black, and I've gone, So then I learned...
A lot of trial and error in this.
Yeah. Well, what I learned was you dye it first, right?
Okay, makes sense.
It does, right? And then I learned about finishing gels, and then I learned about edging, and then I learned that if I use like a really thin, strong, double-sided tape, just to tack it together before I stitch it, it's better than faster than glue. It's more economical, You're not having to wait for it to get tacky to glue it. You just stick it on, done. It's so much faster. And it was very much trial and error. And I think the main thing that I learned from very, very early stages was how to make my own templates.
Right. And
that's surpassed anything that my competitors or people are doing.
Yeah.
Because they'll go online, they'll buy a template.
Right.
Of something.
So they're making something custom for someone, but it's not really custom because it's off the internet.
Yeah.
Shell, I guess.
It's just another product that somebody else can go and buy. Where when you come to me and they go, this is what I want, I go, right, okay, I can design the whole thing, make it bespoke and send them it. Now, don't get me wrong, I have bought templates, but when I've bought a template, it might be, say, a generic bag.
Yeah.
Someone says, I want a bag, right? Mm-hmm. What I'll do is I'll go and find a template which, resembles the shape. And then I'll add pockets, I'll change the lid, I'll add new straps, I'll do the inside differently, I'll change the template to suit my design, what I'm trying to achieve with it.
You've got like a base of it, but then you can then say, right, well, this does this.
Exactly.
It's not quite how I want, but I know from this the changes that I need to make.
There are bags, obviously, I've designed from scratch.
Yeah.
I've done quite a few now. But those bags, it was 3 days straight just trying to make the body.
Yeah.
And someone's got to pay for that time.
Yeah.
So the client's going to get landed with 3 or 4 days worth of design time.
Yeah.
Or we buy the generic shape in it and they charge for half a day's worth of design while I just change it and swap the lid out.
So what year are we talking now? So you had the idea on holiday, June, July, November job, February now we're talking.
Yeah, so 2018, went holiday. 2019, February 2019, I sold that watch strap. I'd probably say it would have been the August 2018. So we'd gone a few months, one thing 1 month, 2 things the next month, 3 things the next month sort of thing. We were getting more up and down. Rockcliffe Hall came on as a reseller. We went to a networking do. The guy who ran the shop was there and he said, can we put this in the shop? And yeah, absolutely. So they came on, borrowed credibility, started talking about work at Rockcliffe. Obviously that boosted the brand. We were borrowing Rockcliffe's credibility, said they're a high-end place. We do high-end products, and it borrowed it.
They've chosen to work with us.
Exactly, and it's that borrowed credibility. It's getting it in the right places, talking to the right people, and using their credibility to boost your own.
Yeah.
That's borrowed credibility. Mm-hmm. And it was just simply that, and that's basically, it's been word of mouth, networking, talking to people. So by the end of 2019, we had a reseller, we were doing all right. It was still a hobby. Mm-hmm. Everything was still mates race.
So it's still like a professional hobby, doing favours for people for gifts and stuff.
Like there was a handful of stuff, maybe 20, 30 items throughout the year where people had got in touch and we sold something for actual value.
Yeah.
Where people have gone, how much is it? And I've gone, it's 100 quid. And they've gone, yeah, fine. And I've gone, oh my God, they said yes. And
I get exactly what you mean.
It happens, but then it was, going into 2020, it became real.
Yeah.
The company I worked for, the marketing company I worked for, they went into liquidation.
Right.
Which was a bit of a shock. It was the 21st of January 2020.
Yeah.
Very close to a date that we're all very aware of is coming up. And I had 10 days. I had 10 days till the end of the month. We'd actually been paid our wages.
Right.
Which I've been told if you got liquidation, not meant to. Don't know, not my job. But
fair play.
We got paid. So I had a month's wage and that was it. I had a month's wage. I'd been doing this thing for a year as a hobbyist. And all the money Coupland Leather had made, I'd reinvested. Yeah. So I had this little workshop, which was 2 by 3 meters and had benches around the outside. I didn't have a sewing machine. I had a press, a bunch of hand tools, and basically tables to work on. Yeah. That was it. Just benches in your back room of your house and a desk in the corner, right? So I had 1 month's wages. And I said to Meg, my other half, obviously, I said, look, I've got 10 days, 21st of January, right? working, so I've done business-to-business networking since I was 18, right? So working the B2B world, when a decent salesperson comes up for grabs, a lot of companies go, do you want to come work for me? In that first couple of days of being unemployed from the 21st of January, I had about 4 job offers. So I was like, right, okay, look, I said, Meg,
amazing.
I've got 10 days, right? Let me see if Coupland Leather works. And if it doesn't work in these 10 days, I'll take a job.
You've already got some sort of backups lined up ready, but you've got the push of unemployment, a pending pandemic.
A safety blanket. Nobody knew the pandemic even existed at this point. You know, and I had the safety blanket, so I went, let's give it a go. And what I'd done is I've had a lot of jobs. You know, I've had a lot of different jobs over my career, you know. If you go on my LinkedIn, there's a whole list of like 17 of them are stupid like that. But the first thing I do every single time is pick my phone up and I go up my contacts and I ring all the people I've got a decent relationship with and go, look, this is what I'm doing now. If I can't work for you, I'll ring up and go, look, I'm working for a marketing company, a media company. We do videos. Do you need a video? Do you know anybody who does need a video? Can you help me out in some way? All I done different this time was I picked the phone and said, look, you know I do that leather thing? They go, I went, I've gone self-employed. And they were, you've done what? And they went, look, do you want a belt? Do you want a wallet? Do you want a notebook cover? I do the corporate branding. Do you want anything? Do you need anything? Do you know anybody who likes this sort of stuff? Can you help me out? And I basically begged, right? We'd done about 1,600 quid in 10 days.
Wow.
And it's better than some months I've had since, to be fair, you know. But to me, now don't get me wrong, I had some stock left. That 1,600 quid again was mate rates. Profitability out of that money probably wasn't very good, right? But I proved the concept that for a guy who was probably earning 1,500 quid a month in a normal employed job, I could make more making leather items.
And that's 10 days. What could you do in 20, 30 days?
Exactly. And it kind of, in back of my head, now I know there were pity sales. I know there were people out there, friends who own companies who just went, you know what, Stu?
Do me a favour. You need, needs a bit of help.
We'll do it for you. And it was. And I've got no shame in saying it was a pity sale because that happened, right?
It was the situation you found yourself in, you pivoted with that.
Pity sale. I was probably doing it down. It was a friend helping a friend out.
Exactly,
who was just
it's a much better way.
Right? But February came around, we'd done about $2,000. I'm like, oh my God. Now, obviously that's in a full month, right? But we'd still done it. Right? And then March came around, we'd done about 200 quid because the world went into lockdown.
God damn
and obviously, I'd shrank. Now, I'd taken that money, I'd reinvested in the sewing machine, I'd reinvested it into a clicker press, the 5-ton clicker press that we now use, with the foresight of what it could achieve. So I'd taken the money that I had and the money that I'd earned, obviously paid my bills and whatever else with it, but then I'd invested what was left into this business, you know.
So now you've got a business, you've got an opportunity, you've got some more gear, you've had to spend the cash to do it, so you've not got those cash reserves.
And now we're in a lockdown. So it was it was an interesting month.
It sounds it.
And obviously I went straight on to Indeed and I looked, Amazon's just opened a warehouse, let's see if they need any jobs, and I had interviews and all the rest of it. I've never been ashamed to make money. When I remember before, I was working as business development manager for some decent companies and we had mint turnovers and my sales record was great. The job went astray. I won't go into details why, but unfortunately it didn't
work out this time.
And I was in McDonald's the following week. I must be one of the only people ever turn up in a suit to McDonald's and interview the manager going, where do you want to be in 10 years? And, you know, I literally went in and then I was serving the window in a suit with a high-vis jacket with saying McDonald's on it. And I got the job. I turned it down because I got an actual, I'm not saying actual, that's, no. I got a business development job working for
a job in your field.
In my career, my field of expertise. So I got a job more suited to where I've been trying to build my career to. Let's put it that way. So McDonald's rang me and I turned him down. But the point being is I jumped straight on the phone and on the computer and done everything I could to get a job. And I didn't care where I was going to earn that money from. So as soon as that lockdown month came about and I looked at my numbers and went, oh my God, I made 200 quid. I was straight on the computer. I was looking for a job. If I thought I wasn't going to be able to pay my bills, I had a duty to my family, myself, to make sure that bills were being paid. And although there was these payment pauses, I never took one.
But I suppose as well, you were in a difficult position because you'd left the company. Well, a company had gone into liquidation, so that job had gone. So there's no furlough pay for you there. You started a business, but potentially you hadn't necessarily jumped through the right hoops in registering things to qualify for any government help for the business.
None.
And then if you're then trying to get into some more line of work, they might not be looking. You're in a real tough spot.
It was a hard spot. Now Amazon, to be fair, I went through an interview process. I had the job, but then the miraculous thing happened, right? And it was something to really learn by. April came around, and the world, it just turned around. It went to buy local, support made in Britain, buy made in England, and the economy turned to looking after the small man. And all of a sudden, my numbers started picking up again.
There you go.
And we started selling stuff, and the business moved forwards. And although I have had hard months this year because of what happened,
and as all businesses will, you've got through it.
There was a month this year where I didn't take a wage. I stopped my dividends, I stopped my wage, I left everything in the business, and I went, I've got a bit of savings, I'll use that to pay the bills. Because it's more important for the business to survive than for Stu Coupland to have a bit of money in his bank. You've got to look at your priorities. But the lesson was, the universe will give you what you need. And I turned the job down. I went, it's going to be all right.
Wow.
It was a hard choice to do.
I was going to say
that wasn't an easy thing to look at your bank and go, we haven't got much. But
sometimes you need that push though, that financial push. It's
that self-belief. And I think I was on a panel at a networking event, and someone asked me, like, if there's any advice to give to somebody who's starting off new, or what would it be? And I went, you've got to change your mindset. And I think the difference between an entrepreneur, I can't say that word.
Entrepreneur.
And somebody who's employed is the self-belief that they can do it. When I started off and I said to people, I'm going to sell wallets for 100 quid or 80 quid, I think I started off at, they all laughed at me and said, who the hell's going to buy a wallet for you for 80 quid? You can buy a Hugo Boss one for 65. And I went, but it's handmade. And they go, and I was like, right, okay. And you talk to my best friends, my parents, everybody.
Perhaps worried for you, thinking, you sure you want to do this?
In my head, there was two people who genuinely believed that I could do it, and that was my missus Meg and her mum. Her mum. There was two people who went, you could do this. I remember Meg's dad when, Stu, I've got you a sale for a wallet. I went, oh, great, really? He went, yeah. I told him there's only about 20 quid. And I went, you did what? 20 quid, are you mental? It cost me more to make the thing. We now sell wallets for £190 plus, it's that self-belief that, when I started doing networking when I was 18, right? I remember going to meetings and there was a guy who sold energy stuff and he was driving around in a Bentley. And I'm like, whoa, that's a nice car, but you sell energy? Like, why don't you just drive an Audi? But it's that luxury if you can do it. Once you've been there, it's hard to come back from it. I'll sit down with business owners and they're writing with this pen. It's this beautiful black pen with this golden brass band around it with a glass top with a little black and white feather. I'm going, what's that? It's a Mont Blanc. I'm like, all right, it's a nice pen. He went, oh yeah, they're about 250 quid a pop. And I was like, it's how much for a pen?
You're worried about wallets.
And well, this is it. And I was going, whoa. And then you sit down with a company and you go, right, okay, how much you're selling the stuff. How much is the hourly rate? And they go, 60 quid an hour, 80 quid an hour, 100 quid an hour. And you're like, that's a lot of money. And then you realise, hang on a minute, I own a business. Like, people will pay for quality. Mont Blanc, Bentley, all these high things. And I'm going, can I really charge 30, 40 quid an hour? I'm going, well, they're charging 80, And you're going, well, hang on a minute. There's people, this is how it works. People are out there and they are willing to spend as long as the service is right. And I had this self-belief in the back of my head going, this mentality that as long as my product is right and and we've got the quality there and the service is there, and if something goes wrong, you fix it and you've got that all lined up properly, people will then spend the money. And I say people, you're talking a small minority will spend the money because most people probably can't afford it, and that's fine. You know,
you've marketed yourself as like a high-end,
exactly,
luxury brand.
Yeah, exactly.
Marketed at people that have sizable disposable income.
Yeah,
yeah, and that's an amazing sort of turnaround. You think about from really starting out just as the pandemic hit, and then we're 2 years later, and you're a well-established brand in the area.
If you look at 2020, and you Google Coupland Leather or whatever, you'll come across the articles. We grew by 675% in 2020.
Yeah.
You know, I probably made 2 years worth of wages in 1 year, and I almost took a job at Amazon.
Yeah.
It's the self-belief to go, trust yourself.
Yeah.
You've done this. And there was a point in my head I went, if I take this job at Amazon and I get comfortable and I get safe and I really knuckle down, am I going to go back to being self-employed? Is this going to become a hobby? Am I going to get scared that I'm going to have another bad month and I'm not going to pay my bills and I don't know what's going to happen? And it's to just slow down, take a breath and go, it's going to be all right.
Why did you start?
Exactly. You know, I took the opportunity because the opportunity was there.
Yeah.
If that company hadn't gone to liquidation, would I have gone self-employed?
Exactly.
Maybe. My actual plan in my head was to have my first year in 2019 as a hobbyist, have 2020 as giving it a go, stop doing mates rates and actually give it a go, and then 2021 take the jump and go self-employed. Right. That was the actual plan in my head to do that.
Life had another plan for you though.
And that's it. And the opportunity arose and I went, it's now or never really. Yeah. And the fact that's what I've done. Now, like I say, like you said there, it'll be 3 years this at the end of this year. Yeah. 3 years out. January 23. What's that like? What are we in now? August.
August 22. Yeah.
So what's that like?
4 or 5 months.
5 months. In 5 months' time, I'll be 3 years into my being self-employed, which is mental to think.
Yeah.
Like I don't know what.
Considering how it started and where you've got to, it's been a hell of a journey.
And every year there's been growth. Yeah. Last month, I was on the board. So I was saying, how am I going to pay? Yeah. You know, we've got a living crisis going on. We've got fuel bills flying. We've got wars going on in our back garden. Yeah. People are scared and they're not spending money. So you know what I done, right? Was I stopped making products. Right. Right. Sounds crazy for a craftsman, right? Yep. So I stopped making products and I gave myself 1 day of crafting a week, and I spent 4 days on the phone. Wow. 4 days on the phone, ringing clients, ringing new people, speaking to people. I got in touch with a virtual assistant. I said, can you do me some data collection? These are the companies I want to get in touch with. Get me 100 people. Yeah, no problem. They went and found all the information for me. I rang them. I spoke to them. I created opportunities and we hit target. There you go. You know, and it's mentality. Yeah. It's important to have those targets as well. Yeah. You know, that's the thing. That you start there going, you know what, just get yourself on Indeed. You're still you're an experienced business person, experienced salesperson, and you've run a successful company for 2 years and grew it from nothing. Yeah. Someone will hire you. And
it's not even like you found, you've got a big batch of products from China, like you're making this stuff.
Believe you. Well, that's a great point. The China thing, because one of the things that happened last month, everything I buy in a source is from the UK, unless I can't get it. Yeah. Right. So all my leather's bought from a UK tannery. You know, all my buckles are bought from a UK supplier. Right. They might buy them from elsewhere, but my money is staying in the UK. They stay in the UK economy, and that's the best I try and do. Yeah. For 2.5 years, I've tried to find these little metal keyring things. See these bits here? Yeah. Couldn't find them anywhere. Right. And don't forget, I have had a bad month. I'm not making any money. 2 weeks gone, and I've not made a single sale. Like, bad. Yeah. And I went, what if I bought those key rings, and I've wanted to do it for 2.5 years? So I went in Alibaba and I found the hardware and I bought some in. I spent too much money and 100 of these little things, right? I bought them in and I sold all 100 in a week. Wow. All 100 in a week, right? And all of a sudden, the numbers weren't looking so bad. Yeah. And it goes back to that
pivot quite quickly, can't it?
Self-belief. Yeah. I've wanted to sell a certain product for 2.5 years, and that product's never left my mind. Yeah. So I made it, and it sold, right? And then I looked at my product, I looked at my kit, and I went, well, I've got a press. I've got a 5-ton press, and with all my notebooks. Yep. There we go. So my notebook covers. There you go, guys. Cover the cut you can. On the inside, that's the point. On the inside, I sell these notebooks. Or sorry, I supply these notebooks. So if someone buys one of my notebook covers, they get a notebook in it.
Yeah, makes sense.
Right. I stamp my logo into this book. Right, so it goes into the press. I've got the press the stamp. Just push it in.
Because you're already doing it on the leather.
Yeah, it just goes in this book and it holds the stamp beautifully. Impressive.
So we just took a little break then because we were sweating. It's warm. It's really warm. So what would you go for your little your fancy drink for a change?
Absolutely. Bringing out the manly side, getting the strawberry and peach cooler.
Gotta be done.
Goes with the beard, you know.
Yeah, needs must. So we were just talking about the notebooks and how you put that extra kind of personal element to it.
We were saying there about obviously the key rings, and I effectively went with my gut instinct to make these key rings, and it worked. And it's, again, down that self-belief, that mindset. But then, obviously, I realised that I was doing these notebooks alongside my notebook covers. Because if you bought a notebook cover, it probably should come with a notebook.
Just makes sense.
Plus, there's always that side where if somebody has a specific notebook they're using, you make the notebook cover, it doesn't fit, then at least I provide one that does.
Exactly.
And the notebook covers that I've sourced, I've made sure that I went to a lot of shops and you can get them the exact same size, pretty much the same sort of thing, just unstamped. They're available for refills, so you don't have to come to me.
Which is good because not everyone's going to think, notebook's full, so I'm stick another one in, I'm passing
exactly. You're going, I can get in touch with Stu, but it's going to take a week for him to get it to me in the post or whatever. I can just pop to Tesco's or whatever it is, buy a new one.
Standard size.
But what I realised was I can brand notebooks. It's not leather, but I've got all the equipment. For a lot of my clients, I've got the stamp with their brand on it.
They've already sorted that. It's sitting there. Might as well.
Whenever someone buys a corporate debossing stamp, what we call it, the brass stamp, which is CNC'd for their logo, they get free branding off us. So if they bought the A5 notebooks, which most companies already buy for themselves anyway,
they'll have a stack of them somewhere, won't they?
They can get it from me at the same price, if not cheaper. In fact, I've just done we're in the middle of doing some books, 100 books for a client, with his logo foiled in the front.
Wow.
He was paying £10-11 a book. I'm charging him £8. So he's saving
costs a stack
money
as well.
and it's a lot. And
all adds up.
I make good money out of it. And all of a sudden, I've got another bread and butter job. All right, it's not leather, but in a time where
it's not leather you've made. It's
well, it's not even leather. It's like a PU soft touch thing. It's not a leather book, but in a time where business is hard and I'm not getting the big orders for the leather products because times are hard. I've diversified my opportunities to go, I can do key rings, I can do notebooks, I can do smaller items which companies already buy.
Market's there.
All I'm doing is doing it for them at a low cost, but they have to buy volume. That's the only thing. So the notebooks are start at 25 units, but they can go up to whatever you want. But obviously, I think there's price breaks at 25, 50, 100, 255. There's price breaks as you go up. You can buy 35, but you just pay the 25 break sort of thing.
And they're the brackets that you work within. Therefore,
they're the brackets my suppliers work
exactly
within.
What I mean,
So that's all I've done is I've gone, what can you supply? Well, if you buy 25, if you buy 50, it's this. Right, perfect. Do you do quantities in between? Yes, we do. Awesome. Here's a markup. There's my price. Are you happy? Yes, you are. Fantastic. I'll buy them in. I've done 75 books today. We've got an order coming in on Monday for another 100. We've already done about 400 last week. So, considering I only opened this opportunity 3 weeks ago, we've done about 500-600 books.
Wow.
Right? Again, saved my ass on such a small, simple thing by looking at the equipment and going, what can I do?
What else can we do? So how does that work then? Because obviously you've started off doing a floppy wallet and
floppy wallet.
All these other bits. And now your product range that you can do already has grown because you've got stuff that you do all the time, more and more stuff, but then other people will come to you with other projects and you think, well, actually other people might want this, so I can do so how has your product range expanded, and how do you kind of decide to work with a new product or change it up a bit?
So a two-part answer. First bit is something that I decided to do very, very early on. If you go on Coupland Leather, it's all exclusive, high-end, made to order, custom dyed. Reality behind that is I buy one sheet of leather. I can cut several wallets out of it and dye it 8 different colours. I'm not going to buy 8 sheets of leather. I'm buying 8 bottles of dye. So
which you'll probably use again for other ones. And
exactly. So my outlay is massively reduced on what I can, obviously have to hold in stock. So instead of spending thousands, I'm spending hundreds on stock. But I'm able to charge the labour side of hand dyeing these things, which, to be fair, you get a nicer wallet.
Yeah, of course. That's why people will pay more.
Yeah, it's a much nicer leather. It looks better, it feels better, it smells better, everything's better about it. But you can charge more for it than a pre-dyed.
Yeah, of course.
You can sell them in single units rather than 10s or 20s or whatever else. So people might buy it, but my outlay is low, right?
Yeah.
But it also means that if you come to me and you say, Stu, I want a wallet, like you did, senior wallet.
Yeah. So I can show you, it's in my pocket now.
And mine's over here because it's my favourite wallet. There you go.
Yep. There you go, the senior.
Right.
So this has got business cards in it. So I've got a stamp, didn't I? So I've got a Salt Steel Brewing Company stamp there. I don't know if you see, I'll get a little close up on the camera.
Because you got that, you can get some notebooks.
Definitely, yeah. And it's got my initials and the logo on the back there, and the Coupland leather logo, and it fits all my lovely business cards in. I've got someone else's business card that I got at networking this morning, and it's always in my pocket. And like I said, how old is that? When did we do that? November.
So
see,
that,
straight off the cup.
Nearly a year.
Yeah, we're getting on for a year, and it's there's a few like marks where you can see it's been worn, but the leather's worn in really nicely.
Yeah, patinas, it breaks in, it just becomes nice. It's a nicer product now than what it was when you bought it, and that's kind of the point. Proper leather gets better.
Yeah, I like that. Proper leather gets better.
What were we saying?
You were talking about the notebooks. Notebooks. Lost my train of thought.
Products.
So if you want, so we're talking about how you've expanded your product range.
Right, So if you wanted a wallet, I can design it. Because like we said earlier, I've learned how to do my own designs. I can dye it one of 8 colours out of the same sheet of leather. I could have made somebody a different product out of a different colour. So my diversity from that side, diversification,
and your waste as well. You're not wasting.
Oh my God, waste. I don't waste anything. Right, which is a great thing. Sustainability, right? But I have drawers and drawers and drawers of scraps and bits and offcuts. And they come in useful. They do, right? They come in useful, especially if I want to test something or try something. They come in useful, but I'm like a hoarder for leather pieces.
Can't throw it away. I'm going to need it.
But, go about your thing. Like diversification, where we go. So now we've hit a point where if you go on the website, there's hundreds of stuff. There's probably 100, 150 different items on there, right? The stuff I haven't even put on there. We just designed a new Richardson wallet, a guy in Sweden, I think it was. Switzerland or Sweden, one of the two. I always get them mixed up because they start with an S and I'm thick. I think it's Sweden. Guy
he's Scandinavian. I think that covers the general region. I think. I could be wrong.
He got in touch and he said, I'd like a wallet. This is what I want. Can you do something similar? So I went, similar, yes. Not the same. And
bespoke.
Well, it is, but equally, like the typical leathers people use, you can pipe the edge, you can forge it, you can do all the stuff. You've got limitations.
The little detail, isn't it? Yeah.
So he wanted a nice simple open card holder with a certain sort of shaped pockets on the inside, and the back of it, he wanted it to fit a £50 note and a 200 check note. Yeah. Right. So what country he was in, England or Sweden.
That's cash. Yeah.
Czech. Is that Sweden?
Czechoslovakia.
God knows where it was. It was in a different country, right? But definitely Sweden. But when you opened it, when you opened it, it had those notes in the back, blah blah. I designed that thing for him, right? Because I designed it for him, I could make it and everything else. We added a new product to the range. Now I named the wallet after him. Same with yours, the senior wallet.
The senior one, I like that.
And you said about another wallet, which we're going to call the junior. I haven't told you about that.
All right.
Right? Because I just thought it works well.
Well, it does, inevitable.
But he's now got his wallet that he designed, that he wanted, that we now sell, which is called the Richardson wallet after him because he's the one who came up with the design, helped us with it. I still sell it to other people. Don't get me wrong. It's my design. I've made it. It's my property to do so, right? But he's got there are companies out there which we've designed stuff for who effectively not own the design. They don't own the design. I own the design, but they have the exclusive rights to it. And the way
there'll be a cost involved with that as well. Like, right, you want this exclusive, then it's
what we've basically said is there's a fee, an annual fee,
right,
which means that I will not sell this to anybody else.
Okay.
Right, or
that's an interesting way of doing it.
There's a commitment of so many units a year. Which is equal to the fee in a way.
But they're getting more.
It works out kind of similar from my side. It's a bit more for the products, but But basically, if you buy so many products per month, quarter, well, we say a year, and then we break it to quarter. So we say it's
over the course of the year.
So say, for example, we say it's 100 a year, or but it equals to this many a quarter.
Yeah.
So as long as they're paying that many a quarter or buying that many a quarter, I don't then produce it for anyone else. As soon as we've done a couple of quarters where they haven't hit the quarter, then I basically let them know, so look, this is your two options. You either you buy the exclusivity for the year, or I'm just going to open this up to anyone else who might want it.
Yeah. That's fair enough.
Yeah. So really, there's a lot of ways we play about with it. I say the royal we, me. Yeah. I play about with it. But yeah, exclusivity wise and all the rest of it, like, products, and we just sort of make what somebody wants. At the minute, I was speaking to a company who want me to make hound collars, you know, the greyhound collars. Widen up at the back. I'm doing this. I'm not making those ones. not those collars. Unless you're interested in getting you know, everything's a market. But you know, we're talking about a company to do greyhound and whippet collars where it widens at the back. Speaking to another company who calls on Monday about just making dog collars for them. Now, that company is going to be selling the Coupland leather ones that we've already designed, which are available to everybody. The greyhound collars, the designs that we make, the cutting dies we buy for him, and all that sort of stuff will be exclusive to him for as long as he hits his quota. So, you know, there's different ways to skin a cat. You know? It's just one of those. There's
a real kind of agricultural kind of link as well with you, because obviously you live out in the sticks. You know, you're in the middle of nowhere, and you work, I guess, a lot with like farmers, agricultural companies, horticultural, and whatever the one for horses is. That horses? Equestrian. That's what I was thinking of. Yes. Yeah. So there's always, you know, saddles, and there's always going to be leather in and around that, and also I guess the type of client and the market there is ideal, because they'll probably, if they're keeping horses and they're doing X, Y, and Z, probably got a bit of extra cash, haven't they? Yeah. So that's obviously been good for you. And again, with the shooting as well.
Yeah, absolutely. So the shooting range, the equestrian range are both great areas. We don't do saddles.
No.
When I set out with Coupland Leather, the one thing I wanted to stay away was what you class, or what I would class as safety equipment.
Yeah.
A saddle, if made wrong, can hurt the rider.
Yeah.
It can hurt the horse.
Yeah.
If it's not fit right or in that, it's a very specialist.
It's a whole other ball game to get into.
You know, there are courses I could go on, I could do it. The route Coupland Leather's going down, it's not that one.
No.
Fair enough. I can fix stirrups. I can help the repairs
things
and stuff,
or do stuff too.
Like I done a saddle for somebody the week. What effectively he had an issue with was the stitching down the side. So I don't even know how to say the things. You sit on it and there's like flappy bits underneath, right?
The flappy bit. I know.
Flappy bits. The stitching came out, so I restitched it back end. So I just restitched it up and repaired it.
But as a thing, it's been signed off. It's safe. You're just making a couple of adjustments.
All I've done is restitch the thing. So I've not altered anything. Nothing. That all I've done is repaired it. Right, and that's something absolutely I can do. So there's always ways. Like for example, the shooting stuff. We work very closely with Thimbleby Shooting Ground. Yeah,
because you're a patron of that as well.
Absolutely, I'm a member.
You're a shooter.
There.
A shooter. You're a
clay pigeon shooter.
Clay pigeon shooter. A gunman. A rifle. Yeah, whatever the term gunman is. You're one of them.
Okay. But yeah,
that sounds far too serious. The gunman broke into. No, it's You're a recreational shotgun firer.
We'll go with that.
Yeah.
I'm a member of Thimbleby.
I remember that.
But they're a reseller of mine, so they have Thimbleby branded products only under their brand. So that's something else we do manufacture for other companies, which they sell in their shop. But equally, they have gun slips, which they've bought, which are mass-produced gun slips. The bottoms are falling out and all came out. I've restitched them and fixed them for them. You know, so there's always stuff you can do.
Once you're in and amongst it, then there's it opens a bit, not a can of worms, but there's always opportunities and stuff, isn't there?
I think the big thing is, no matter who you are, what your market is, there's always opportunities for work if you're willing to look for it. Ask the questions, be cheeky, and all the rest of it, and go, can you help me? Or is there anything like this? Or pick the phone up and go, look, you know me, you know what I do. You know.
So how have you found that then? So obviously you're a skilled craftsman. You've learnt your trade, and you're always trying to improve and grow. But aside from the product and the skill, there's the business side of things as well. And obviously you've got a wealth of experience in business. But you know, you're not then representing a business as such. You are the business. And how do you find that from like a confidence point of view?
I would say before I'm a leathersmith, I'm a businessman.
Yeah.
And I think that's...
You're a businessman and leather is your business.
Kind of, yeah. Leather's my skill.
Yeah.
but my career is business.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
Yeah, that's transferable then, isn't it, as well?
I've been a salesman or an experienced salesman with a decade's worth of work behind me. With every company I've ever worked for, I've always been very close to the business owners. You know, and I've never worked for a massive multi-corporation thing. I've always worked for small local businesses. Now, I'll say small local business, some of those have had 30, 40 staff members, but I've always been quite close, if not to the director, to the management team. Working that way, and I'm definitely not the brown nose. Anyone who knows me, I'm definitely not a brown nose, but I've always been friendly with people. I'm a nice guy, I get on with people well.
Build relationships.
And I've always been in and around decisions. I've seen business owners make bad choices. I've seen business owners make good choices. I've seen them do good things and bad things and questionable things and not so questionable things. And I think that's always, I hate to use the word groomed, but it's always groomed me to kind of have that mindset of, I seen them do that. They come across this problem before. They dealt with it this way. They had these repercussions, or they went well. So I've learned from that. And I think that time period of working in sales, because let's be honest, right? Salespeople are the closest thing to a business owner. Really, it's about finding business, it's about building contacts, it's about networking. It's about running your own business. If you're a proper salesperson, you're working on targets, and you do new business. I'm not about order management or anything. I'm about actual sales. It's effectively you're running a small business. You are running, Stu Coupland Corporation, who works for or under this business. You're kind of managing your own thing.
And you've been conditioned in that way to pick up the spiel, to be able to know how to run and what's going on with the business. You're representing that business, and then actually what you can then do is pick up that skill set, pick up the ability that you've learned,
and take it somewhere else.
And do it with everything.
You hear it often with the salespeople. As long as you can sell anything.
A good salesman can pick up and change product.
And I've very much done that with Coupland Leather. All I've done is I've stopped selling IT, and I've started selling leather products. Right, found my market, built the brand. I remember a lady got in touch with me. It was quite nice, actually. Never spoke before on LinkedIn, and I get a lot of my business through LinkedIn. But she texted me. She actually screenshotted and sent me the picture and said, "Just to let you know, Stuart, I was flicking through LinkedIn and I seen the bottom third of your photo," and she sent me the screenshot of the bottom third of my photo and went, "I knew it was you instantly from your brand." The logo wasn't on there, but the mood of the picture, the colours and everything that we use was there. And she went, "I knew it was you straight away." So just to say,
nice. You didn't have to do that. That's really kind.
It was very nice, but she just went, "Your brand's spot on. It's exactly where it needs to be, because if somebody can recognise your brand, that's seeing you like that, then you're doing something right." And I was blown away. I was over the moon. You see companies and they'll do posts always in the same colour. They'll put fades on it, they'll put borders on it, and they'll do all this, and that's great, but it gets boring and it doesn't. It
kind of gets a bit lost, doesn't it?
It becomes part of the furniture. We were actually saying about this the other day. I was speaking to a lady the other day, and we were talking about sales on LinkedIn. And ever since my birthday was on 23rd of June, what's the date today? The 12th of August? I don't know.
Yeah, 12.
So it's about 2 months.
At the time of recording.
1.5 or something like that. But I barely post on LinkedIn for weeks. And I've done the odd bit here and there, but not very well. I kind of went to a slump. I said I had a bad month, and I went a bit of a slump, and you get them. And then I started posting on LinkedIn, and my month's blown up. I've had loads of inquiries, things weren't.
I'll do that more often.
Well, I will do that more often. But I think there's another story, a lesson in that. And I overthink things sometimes, so apologies. But what I actually picked up from this was taking a break from social media and stop posting is a good thing. Because if people are aware of your brand and aware of you and know who you are, as soon as you vanish and don't see you for a while, as soon as they see you again, oh, there he is. That's what he's doing. Oh, I didn't think about that. You get a spike in engagement, don't you? You stop being part of the furniture. I post every day, usually. Every day, all the time. And I'm consistently in people's faces. What happens is I become consistently in people's faces. I become the pillow. I become the curtains that never get opened, or that, where you always have that mug in the corner of the room. That dirty coffee mug that's been there for weeks, and you're always like, I need to move that dirty coffee mug.
I'm not seeing it now, but I know it's there.
And you're like, oh, it's there. But as soon as it's out of your mind, it's gone, because you no longer see it's part of the furniture. And I think there's that sort of, and I don't. This isn't proof science, but if you see something every day, it becomes just habit of seeing it every day, and you don't put attention to it. I took a break unintentionally, and when I came back on, I got loads of inquiries, loads of orders come through, and I think it's because I took a break, and then reintroduced myself in a way, which kind of reignited this sort of
a good sort of strategy that's organically appeared to present itself to you now.
It's now. I might be full of it, to be fair, right? Because I haven't tested this.
We'll let the listeners decide.
Right? I haven't tested it because I might go, I'm not going to post anything on LinkedIn for 2 weeks. And then I'll post something the third week and go, it didn't work. I might be wrong.
Yeah.
Right? I haven't tested it,
but trial and I think there's a lot of trial and error in business, isn't there?
Yeah, exactly. Just gone that past month, that's been my experience. And things have picked up. And either it's just tied in really well with when everyone's came back from holiday, or I might be honest.
It could be a bit of both. Yeah.
Take a break.
Yeah. I think for mental health as well, it's great to take a break from business. I think personally we should always try and switch. I'm trying to get in the habit now on an evening where I've had kids are in bed, I've had tea, something on the telly, chilling out, and I put my phone on. It comes on automatic now as like sleep mode, where it sort of hides my notifications, so it's not just lighting up or pinging. They're still there, and if I pick my phone up, I can see everything, but it's not in my face. And it's just like do not disturb, I think, isn't it?
I didn't know you can do that. Yeah, I'm going to do that.
It's great, and then I just switch. I mean, sometimes it's like...
Can you set it as a timer?
Yeah.
So it's like 8 o'clock every night?
Yeah, so I think mine come like my phone turns itself to like normal mode or whatever it is, sometime about 7, 8 o'clock in the morning. So even when I get up with the kids and stuff, my phone's still like on do not disturb.
I like this.
And then it's a case of it'll come out, I'll use it during the day, and then it'll turn itself down for there. But we were talking off air earlier about you and kind of how you got to that point, but it's not always been, or still continues to be, a challenge for you, because whilst we see Stu Coupland, the leather guy who's full of confidence and is building a very successful business, it's not. It might appear natural and easy, but it isn't.
No, I have got anxiety problems. One that I don't talk. The typical post you always see on Facebook. Talk about your problems. No, I'm the guy that doesn't. Yeah. I am that typical person that just doesn't do it. I hide in my own corner type guy. Mm-hmm. But as I was sort of saying to you earlier, I've always had an anxiety problem, and I know where it spouted from. Effectively, when I was younger, my voice didn't break right until I was about 15. Which meant that I had a very, very high pitched, squeaky voice.
Kids can be cruel.
I've heard the Christmas videos, and to be fair, I would have laughed at me too. I sounded like my niece when she was about 8, up until the age of 15. So
it can be a tough time.
But what I actually learned and what I found out, what I noticed was that all spouted or developed from my brothers. My brothers were picking on me from an early age, as they do, you know. Back then it wasn't bullying, it was character building. And they used to call me Squeak and Mouse Man and all this sort of stuff, and they'd have a little laugh and a joke and all that, and it was fine, it was funny. But what happened was my friends would call me the same thing because my brothers did and thought it was okay, and then people at school would do the same thing because my brothers did and it was okay. Then we'd go on holiday, and the people on holiday, they would say the same thing, and they would laugh and they would make the jokes and they would call me the same thing because it seemed okay.
And it kind of followed it around. Your brothers created a space where it was acceptable.
You know, it was just little squeaky Stu. And that's what it was. And this bit, I don't have the deepest voice as it is now, to be fair. But
not noticeably high.
No.
I can turn the bass up. We can fix it in the edit. Don't worry.
But what I noticed, or what happened, was I went on holiday without them.
Mm-hmm.
And when I went on holiday, I noticed nobody took the mick. Nobody called me Mouse or Squeak, or nobody laughed when I spoke. Nobody was saying anything. And the only difference to that and every other experience in my life was my brothers weren't there to take the mick out of me. Right? I think that the story or the moral behind it was anywhere you go somewhere new, the people you're meeting have the pre-expectation of you being whoever you want to be. So you know, if I'm going to do a talk at Lumley Castle like we did a couple of months ago, you know, I was massively out my comfort zone. I was nervous. I could feel my heart thumping. But I knew every single person sat in that room, and there was about 100 people in the room, every single one knew I was going to be on a panel.
Yeah.
They knew that Stu Coupland, alongside 3 other people and 3 other business owners, was going to be on a panel. He was going to be asked questions and he was going to answer them.
Yeah.
So they had the preconception that I was going to talk. When we go networking, and you have to stand up and talk about your business, every single person in that room knows you're going to stand up and talk about your business. When you're asked to do a presentation, every single person in that room knows you're going to do a presentation. So it's up to you and the way you present yourself to that room to how you react. So you can either be nervous and be the person you feel on the inside, admit that after I'm really nervous, and first thing you say, I'm really nervous, and you're kind of making that excuse for yourself. Yeah. Or you can be the person that they're expecting you to be.
Yeah, and you want to be.
Fake it, act it.
Yeah.
You know, put a face on, and you can be whoever you want to be.
Yeah.
And I learned that when I was about 15, 16 years old. So when it came to, you know, I had a job and I used to do a lot of cold calling. When I rang somebody up, and I don't know, have you ever been cold called?
I have been cold called. I have cold called as well in former jobs.
But you've been cold called, right?
Yeah.
So you've done both. So I'll ask you both sides of this question. You have been cold called.
Yes.
Who was the last person to cold call you?
Couldn't tell you. No idea. They were not memorable to me. Yeah.
That is my point, right? Every time you cold call someone, you feel like a proper dick. Yeah. Sorry, right? No, but you do, don't you? You feel like, oh, they're going to say no to me.
Yeah, they're going to shout at me. And
they're not going to remember you. No. Sorry, mate. You're not that memorable, right? Unless they say, yes, I'll have a meeting with you. Yeah. Who cares? Yeah. Right? Be whoever you're meant to be. Yeah. Pick the phone up, speak to them, put the phone back down. It don't matter. Yeah. They don't care about you anymore. They might have a 30-second laugh, go, hey, you just messed up on the phone. Yeah. Then it's over and they get.
But you've already put the phone down. You hear that? It's like,
it's gone. Right. When I had to do door knocking, right, and I had to knock on people's doors. Literally, I've done offices like this one, right, where you knock on the door and you walk straight into the seating area. There's no reception. Yeah. You walk in and there's 10 desks and 10 sets of eyes staring back at you, going,
who's this?
Yeah. And at that moment, you have 2 choices. You go bright red in the face. You turn around, you run out the door because, oh my God, there's 10 people staring at me. Or you go, who looks after your IT? You. Can I have a card? This is who I am. And you put the face on and you just go red if you want to
change their expectations. Then they're like, oh, who's this guy?
You're walking in there and they're going, who's this guy? Yeah. Build the expectation. You are going in there to be that guy. Yeah. You know, you ring a person up. You're going from. You might go for the biggest appointment of your life, right? Yeah. So you're a videographer, right? Yeah. Mm-hmm. So who would be a fantastic person for you to work with?
I mean, there's a plethora of businesses around here, isn't there?
There'll be a huge company in your head, or even the people we're speaking to right now, right? There'll be a person in their head where they go, I would love to work with ABC company. Yeah. Oh my God, that would change my business. It would change my world. Like it would revolutionize who I want to be and help me reach my goals in life, right? Mm-hmm. There is a person like that in every single person's mind who that would be. Mm-hmm. If you got that appointment, right, and you have to walk in and speak to that business owner or that manager or that buyer or whoever it might be, you've got to go and sit in front of that person and sell yourself, right? You'll be nervous.
But with no preconceptions.
You'll be nervous, you'll be scared, you'll be everything emotion will be going through your head. You'll be excited when you get the opportunity. You'll be like, oh my God, I'm the best in the world, I'm going to be a millionaire. Yeah. And then you're going to be, oh my God, I'm going to screw it up. And then and it's going to go up and down and down. The person who you're going to meet is expecting to meet the best videographer they've ever met in their life. On Monday, Tuesday, I've got a massive appointment, which could change my business, right? On Monday, just gone, I had another one, which again, you know, they've gone with it.
Fantastic.
But it's going to change the business, right? I can either walk in there scared thinking, oh my God, this is going to change the business. If I mess it up, I'm going to be screwed. I'm going to go bankrupt. And I'm going to... Or you can go, this person's expecting to meet the world's best leathersmith. Yeah. Right? You're going to have to sit down in front of this person. You're going to have to know what you're talking about. You're going to have to be confident and calm and casual and everything. They're expecting to be in front of the best person in your profession because that's who you've called them as, that's who you've put forward, that's who you've been recommended as. Otherwise you wouldn't have been recommended. Otherwise
you wouldn't have got the appointment.
Yes, exactly. If they weren't expecting that, so your choice is I go in there as nervous, anxious Stu, and I make a mess of it, or I still sound a bit nervous.
You've got mouse stew in your head, putting that doubt in, thinking
exactly that's it, right? Or you go, I'm really good at what I do. And you go in there and you hide those doubts, and you'll notice that the person in front of you is just another person. It doesn't matter. And
so when you come out of that meeting,
then you break down and cry.
It was never as bad as I thought it was going to be. I did really well. I feel great.
And you're going to come out going, I got the appointment. You're going to come out going, I didn't, never mind, but I gave it my best go. If you went to a meeting nervous and shaking and sweating and stumbling and everything else because you're not allowing yourself to be the person you need to be, you're going to come out of that meeting going, I messed that up. If only I was a bit calmer. If only I'd prepped myself a bit more. If only I'd... You're going to have all those things. If you go in there with the best... And you don't get it, right? They shoot and go, I gave it my best go. And that's the thing that I noticed when I was very young. I went holiday, nobody picked on me. And when I started going networking, and when I've gone to appointments, and when I've done the things I managed to do... I danced on TV for Sky One, right? I danced on TV with diversity on Sky One for the Ashley Banjo's Big Town Dance as part of the entertainment and leisure category. I was nervous as hell. But I had to dance in front of diversity in my audition. The only thing I could do was that weird little foot shuffle. Someone else has already done that.
It's a solid move.
Oh yeah, I was going in with but people had already done. I was just copying for the people. But I had the choice. I can be nervous, and they're not going to put me on the show, or give it my best go because it doesn't matter.
So what advice would you have then for someone else who perhaps does suffer with anxiety, who lacks confidence perhaps because of something that's happened to them, and they're wanting to sort of come out of the shell a bit? Obviously you talked about making that choice, but...
I'd say just it's a hard one because obviously I've had that experience in my life to go, this works. But I can't say it's any more than just give it a go.
Cool. So more technical difficulties, which I thought I'd ironed out, and now I know how to fix, but it's too late. So if you're on YouTube now, we're on one camera. So I've got my sexy legs out now as well. No, and it was move your mic a bit closer. It was that's all right. It was an awkward time for it to stop because we just getting into some good stuff there about how you've overcome sort of anxieties and things like that. So you were giving advice there for people about how to get over stuff like that, and that's been something you've lived through. And I know you said you don't talk a lot about these sorts of things, but actually this day and age now, I mean, you might have seen I've come on board as an ambassador for Pro UK, trying to get more men to talk about things, and actually you telling your story might help someone out and get them out of that.
Like I say, it's not something I talk about often, so it's not something I'm really prepped. And again, I'm going back into this corner of going, oh, nervous Stu, what do I say? I don't know. So put a face on it and just basically just try. Just try. Fail, try. Let that go off.
Honestly, today's recording, we've had some cameras overheating, we've had other bits not syncing up, we've had monitors not working, we've had sirens, we've had cars. We were talking before about your previous life as a fireman, because we were walking outside before, and there's been a guy who was on some sort of substances, who decided to cook himself fry some chips at 2 in the morning. Allegedly, yeah, that's true, and has blown the roof off literally the building and affected 4 businesses. You couldn't make it up.
Oh no, I feel so really sorry for them. There's literally four companies that are shut for potentially, what was it, a month?
About 12 months.
12 months?
Yeah, about a year.
Jeez.
All because some guy wanted chips.
Yeah.
There's a chippy next door. Honestly, ridiculous.
Don't always do it yourself, guys. Get professional.
And try not to be inebriated off things you shouldn't be. But one thing I wanted to talk about before we wrap up was because we talked about social media and posting the good things, having quiet times, and actually, you coming out of your shell and being able to celebrate the successes of the business and look at that growth and the dips you've had, but then the big successes you've had. One thing we have to talk about.
Go on.
Boise.
Come
on, tell the story. Are you sick to death of talking about this one? But people need to know.
Nah, it's It's a strange. I've obviously, as many British people are, huge fans of Only Fools and Horses.
Yeah.
Huge fans. Growing up watching it, I've probably seen the entire thing 20, 30 times. You know, reruns on TV or watching it in order. And go back down that salesperson route. You know what I mean? He who dares wins.
Yeah.
And we went to the Yorkshire Show last year, walking along. I seen an elderly couple sat behind a standard fold-out table with a pull-up banner of Boise, and I said to Meg, so why has that guy got a pull-up banner of Boise? And we walked past at this point, she looked back, she went, because it is Boise. And I went, no, it's not. I went, holy shit, yes it is. I said, oh my God, at this point we're in COVID, so it's one-way systems, so I walked around the entire of North Yorkshire Show, or the Great Yorkshire Show, just to get back to him, and went, hi. And I don't get starstruck.
Yeah.
Seriously, like, celebrities do not faze me one bit. Meg found it hilarious because it was like I seen the most beautiful woman in the world. It's spicy. But he had a sign on his thing, and I don't read books, but he had a sign saying photographs only with sold books. So I went, I'll have two. I went, which ones? He went, well, they're a set one, that'll do. Yeah. There you go. And I've got two signed books that said to shoot good look and all this stuff. So it's really nice. But it says millions about his character. Megan, who's a photographer, had a camera. He went, oh, what do you do? She went, I'm a photographer. And they were talking about that, and he spent about 20 minutes with us. And he went, what do you do? And he asked her about a business. He said, oh, what do you do? So actually, I'm a leathersmith. I said, I make bespoke leather goods. And funny enough, Meg had a handbag I'd made her. This is one of mine, and we had a brochure or two that was naturally just in there. It wasn't planned, but sort of gave him the brochure. And he, you know, as
thought he was just being nice. Oh yeah, I'll check it out.
Just being a nice person, you know. Oh yeah, giving all the lips out and that. As I walked away, we were walking across one of the fields at the show, and I said, I should have offered him a wallet, you know. And I didn't want anything back from it. And there are other celebrities out there who I'd love to do a wallet for, not because I want to post about it or to tell people I've done it or anything like that, but just to go, how incredible would it be for that person to have something I've made, you know. And I noticed on his bag, he'd wrote his web address, you know, Wigmore Books. Yeah. Which is still running, if you want anything. But his wife runs it now. And I went on there, and there was a contact form. So I emailed him through the contact form thinking, it's going to be an agency, right? It's not going to be him.
Yeah.
And he emailed back. And he said, Stuart, it was lovely to meet you and Megan today. He remembered her name. Yeah. For one thing, that was incredible. Because I thought, obviously, the amount of people he's spoken to. Lovely to meet you and Megan today. You know, this, that, and the other. And it was really a sentiment. So I emailed him back again and just went, look, I'd love to make you an AJ wallet. I would recommend doing it in these colours unless you want something different. All you have to do is tell me the best place to send it. I wasn't asking for his home address.
Yeah, PO box or whatever.
The best place to send it, and I will happily make you something to send it out. And he emailed back with his home address and went, I would love a wallet. Please send it across. So I made him a wallet, but he'd emailed me. One of the first things he emailed was, "Oh, if you're on Twitter, I've tagged you on Twitter." And he posted about me saying, like, "He's met this amazing guy." And I was like, "What a person!" Like, you know, you don't get this.
No,
people aren't this nice. And I was blown away just by the genuine good nature of this person. Yeah. This celebrity, this world-renowned man, who's just being nice, you know.
It's unfortunately a rarity, isn't it?
It is. They say don't meet your heroes and all that. He was a complete...
He's the exception to the rule, isn't he? Yeah,
absolutely. So I made him a wallet and I sent him across and just said thank you very much.
Yeah.
Put his initials into it. I actually foiled his envelope because we've got that service if we need to, with Boise and all that, and John Chalice, and he posted again.
Yeah.
He'd done another post, and we spoke probably once a fortnight, every so often, sort of email.
Yeah. So you kept in touch, just
just
nice.
bits and bobs, you know, here and there. It wasn't like we were best mates. We weren't, you know, always talking in 5 minutes. Not off. We probably spoke a lot less than this thing going off. But you know, we had a nice little chatty relationship.
Yeah.
He probably didn't think as much of it as I did.
But you never know.
But yeah, and then the last email we had, he had some shows or some sort of thing going on. I seen the news that he cancelled them because he wasn't very well. So I said, I just hope you're feeling better.
Yeah.
I hope you're right. And he said to me, life goes on, basically. You just take it with how it goes. Yeah. And then I think a week or so later, he passed away. Which was heartbreaking. I was quite upset.
There was a lot of people, I think, who were heartbroken for you because we'd all seen the posts and stuff and just thought how special the posts were, how special your relationship had become and how organic it was. And we all felt that for you.
It was, obviously, I was good one that Boise had passed away. Yeah. As any of those characters on the show would have.
And any fans of the show would have been really upset.
Yeah. But I was upset that I just met a really nice person who passed away, and that was upsetting.
Yeah.
So I emailed his wife on the morning I found out and just said, I hope you're okay.
Yeah.
She emailed me back almost straight away, which was incredible.
Yeah.
And basically said that he loved his wallet, he smelt it all the time. It was a really nice, he loved it.
Yeah.
And then unfortunately left me a tenner in the wallet, which I thought was hilarious.
Or was it like tight gate or something like that?
Just a tenner, just a £10 note in the wallet.
How dare he?
But she's a really funny person as well.
But you can imagine that because he's hilarious. So
he is.
Naturally, he'll have spent his time with people and
just great people.
So
just moving forwards a little bit from that, I was going to send her flowers.
Yeah,
as she would. Mm-hmm. But Carol put on Facebook, or not Facebook, Twitter, sorry. Don't send flowers.
Yeah.
She said, I'm over cumbered with flowers.
Yeah.
Please stop sending me flowers. Instead, donate the money you were going to spend on the flowers to one of these handful of charities, 3 charities. John was an ambassador of these charities. Please donate the money and support the charities in John's name. So I looked at it and I went, I was going to send the flowers. I could donate that money, or I could do something else.
Yeah.
So I got in touch with Carol and I said, look, I've got an idea. Obviously, you got Wigmore Books, which is John's company. Mm-hmm. And one of his books is called Being Boise. So we made a stamp. I got a corporate debossing stamp made. And we designed 100 limited edition bookmarks. And we sold the bookmarks. We still got a couple left, to be fair.
Yep.
But all the profit that came off those bookmarks went to these charities. I said to Carol and said, where do you want me to send it? She told me and I sent it off.
Amazing.
On each one it was just the bookmark that went out in a little folder, and inside that folder I had a little card which said, thank you for supporting all this money. The profit from this will go to these charities.
Yeah.
And it was just a little thing, and then obviously it went to some of the newspapers, which was really nice. It wasn't what the intention was.
I think that's when you end up in getting good press because you've not tried to.
Yeah.
So it looks natural and
it was never about that.
Yeah.
It was about trying to do something for a good person that done something for us.
Yeah. Pay it forward.
Basically, and I guess in a way, obviously grief might be a strong word, but grief works in different ways. And in my way, I kind of went, this is a nice way to try and do something more than just be upset. You know? He was a great guy. Really, really pleased I met him.
Yeah.
Only knew him for a very short period of time before he passed.
But what an impact he made.
Well, absolutely, yeah.
He's always going to be part of your legacy.
Oh, absolutely.
And, you'll treasure those memories and that experience and relationship forever.
I've got my one bookmark.
Yeah.
That I got.
Well, make sure you keep that one for you.
Absolutely, yeah. It's on I've actually got the newspaper article. You know what was really cool about the newspaper? I became a page 3 model.
Hey! Lifelong dream.
Absolutely, yeah. These opportunities come once in a blue moon.
Got to be ready for them.
I've got that. I think it was the Northern Echo. I've got that up on the wall, and I've got I stuck one of the bookmarks to the frame, so it's all there and nicely in the workshop.
That's really special.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, I'm really pleased for you.
But so we've had some fantastic opportunities come around from Coupland Leather, and it's opened many doors, and it's solved a lot of problems in my life, financially and everything else,
And you found your identity as well. You are the leather guy.
Absolutely. Well, personal branding,
Massive.
We'll finish on that note, because I think personal branding, especially as a business, people buy from people.
Yeah.
And when I started Coupland Leather, I was known as Stu Coupland, the IT lad. And I was known for working for this company, that company. I didn't have my own identity. I was representing one of these businesses. I wasn't me. Mm-hmm. So I made Coupland Leather. Now the crest is something my granddad designed.
Yes.
like 40 years ago, I had a big fishing net, took the fish out, squashed it down, changed it a bit, and I came up with the crest, and then we came up with Coupland leather. Now I was already known as Stu Coupland, but not the leather guy. So what I started doing was introduce myself as the leather guy.
Yeah.
And then people go, "Oh, do you mean Stu Coupland?" And then I'll naturally go on to Coupland leather because the names link. So we created this personal brand of the leather guy to quite comfortably link back to Stu Coupland, which will link back to Coupland leather. And I think trying to build your own brand, your own identity around what you're trying to do, especially if you're try to build a career, build a brand, or build something of your own. I'm not about working for a company and wanting to do better with your sales and all that, because you're building somebody else's. I mean, building your own identity.
You'll still get success from that, of course, but it's not the same.
What I'm talking about here is building yourself up and trying to do that sort of road where you go into self-employment.
I'm a big believer in that, and I think from my marketing background, I always understand the importance of personal brand. It's something I do try and talk to anyone listening about, but my clients and things like that. There's always I've set up a podcast. It's something I enjoy doing. It's great, and it's been so fascinating to hear your story, and you've got some really fun, interesting anecdotes that I'm sure people will really enjoy listening to. But the whole the Liam Senior Show, it's just I want to tell stories, but it's good visibility for me as well and my brand, so it works. It links
back to your business as well.
Yeah, exactly, because I get the opportunity to talk about
technical difficulties.
We'll smooth those out. Don't you worry. Every day's a school day.
Absolutely. Well, that's the thing. You you have to live and learn, and
you learn through your mistakes as well. So I know I'm going to have a couple of hours throwing cameras at walls and cursing and whatnot. But no, I think a really great place to a really nice story as well. From the Boise story to finish on, and some great notes there for people who perhaps were struggling as well. I really appreciate your time here, and some great words that I heard the other day was someone that said, whatever you speak, you become. And if you change your words, you change your life. So if you start to push out to the universe or the world, and then listen, this confident personal brand of you and who you are, you will become, grow into that, and your anxiety will sit there, and your anxiety will be something you'll live with and manage. But actually, you'll eventually find that your default state will be Stu Coupland, leather guy.
Absolutely. Well, how long have you known me?
You must have only just recently started the business. I reckon it's been about 4 years now, 4 years.
When did you learn I had anxiety?
This morning.
And that's the point. It's not something I talk about, it's not something I shout about, it's not something I wouldn't say proud. I think not being proud of it's the wrong word.
I know what you mean though. It's not.
It's not something I want to be known as the guy that's got anxiety problems.
I want to be known as the anxious man,
business owner who does personal branding, identity. I decided when I found out that I could be anybody I wanted to be, I decided to be whoever I wanted to be. And that's the point is, you've only just learned that everyone's eye. That's because I told you, not because you found it out.
No, exactly.
There's probably only a very 2-3 people who have ever seen me actually have issues with it, where it's been a bit too overwhelming. One being my other half.
No, that's it.
So it's a very hidden part of my personality, but it's the fact that if you believe that you can do it, and you believe you can be somebody who you want to be, and that you can throw away everyone else's preconceptions and be that guy or that girl, then be it. Because people who are close to me, know me for 4 years, don't know I've got any issues.
Exactly. Yeah, we've been friends for ages, and I had
until
no
you get
idea.
in the car with me, and then my personality changes.
Well, I guess for everyone listening, then some good takeaways, and even some stuff that you can learn from you from good and bad is that. When you want to become who you want to become, you can change, you can make that choice. But also, if you are suffering, perhaps not to suffer in silence, you can talk about it and help you.
To everybody, doesn't mean I'm not talking internally to other people that are close, family members, and all the rest of it.
You can lean on them when you need that support.
I know that I've got Megan I can speak to whenever I need to speak to her, and I know she's there to listen to me.
And she'll know, right? Stu needs a bit of help here.
Yeah. And she knows how to give me a clip on the back there. No, she doesn't really.
But, well, sometimes you might need one, but...
you know me well, you probably know I do. But exactly what you're saying, speak to people because the support's there. You just need to ask for it. Just know who to use. It's not a case of I'm going to broadcast it to her. It's I need to find the people who are really going to support me here and go through it. I think that's I think some great advice to end on. So really appreciate you coming in, Stu. It's been fantastic as always. I knew it would be, and
Don't forget, if you are subscribed on YouTube, then thank you. Hit the like button, and we'll pick it from there. Yeah.
Pass them loads of business.
Yeah, appreciate that. Cheers. There we go. So once again, just to end on the technical difficulties that we had to or through, we did just wrap up the show there, but there wasn't any camera work. So we'll just wrap up this bit for YouTube. Thank you. Hope you enjoyed the show. Cheers for Stu for coming in. And if you want to see future content, hit the subscribe button, leave us a comment, let us know what you think. If you've had any issues with anxiety yourself, drop us a comment and let us know how you've worked with that. And likewise, if you've got any business success stories or stuff you want to talk about, drop it in the comments and we'll speak to you soon.
Thank you very much. Thanks for listening. Sorry to bore you. Enjoy.
Nice one.
Don't forget, if you want to see Liam and his guests, head over to the YouTube channel and don't forget to subscribe. Well, thank God that's over.